All right, so gonna call this meeting of the Douglas Historical Commission to order on Tuesday, July 2nd, 2024 at 6:08 PM. This meeting is taking place at this is not the resource room,
Community meeting room.
community meeting room in the Douglas Municipal Center. Present at today's meeting, Rebecca Doyen LaValle.
Sarah Guyman.
Scott Garland.
Dawn Fontaine.
Okay. So we have the agenda for today's meeting. Any objections, amendments, or anybody like to move to approve it?
I'll move to approve the minutes of,
Nope, move the agenda first.
the agenda for tonight,
Yep,
for July 2nd
yep.
meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion passed. And we also have the meeting minutes from the the May 29th meeting. Hopefully everybody had a chance to review
Yeah,
them.
which I do have if anybody needs them.
The only thing I'm wondering is, I didn't see the fourth property, which I know that we didn't have much opinion on, was the old gas line. Did we want to mention that on here? Do we have any opinion on that?
No, I don't.
I think
I
we
know
just,
they walked through it, but it's not a property per se. I mean, I guess it's a property, but it's not a building. Or not
No,
a.
it's pretty rundown.
yeah, I think we had just kind of said because it was more of a,
We'll let them.
Yeah,
them
it was
being
a-
the building and facilities
It
decide
was-
what they want to do with it.
I thought it was like, especially because it was kind of still a town using for other reasons. We were just stepping away from having an opinion on that one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
otherwise, I move to approve the minutes of May 29th.
Okay. Seconded.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passed.
Okay.
All right, excellent. So, can we
Okay.
move forward with the agenda?
Yes. So the districts where we were gonna each take our sections and see which photos we needed. So I guess looking at, I have my name on it. Is that because it was my section? Or
You were
because-
number one.
Yes, I'm number one.
Yep.
Okay.
Your pages 1 and 2.
Yeah, so everybody still has their copies, okay, perfect. So I don't know if we want to, like, have one copy where we write, take note of which ones that we were gonna photograph, but I can tell you which ones I selected out of this group.
So if you want, I can go ahead and take care of it on this copy, and then when I get to work tomorrow, I can transcribe it onto the Google Doc.
Okay, yeah, that would be great.
Okay,
All right, so we're on A Street then, right?
yes,
Okay, so I did the first 3, 2, 3, and 4.
okay.
6 was a question mark, not 5.
Okay,
9, the Peter Roberts house. And then I skipped a whole bunch until we get to 24.
okay.
No, none of those on B Street until you get to the next page.
Okay, B Street, I thought we had originally discussed, because we had somewhat discussed B Street, and I thought we had discussed trying to do all of B Street because it was all.
a group.
It was
Yeah.
all mill
Okay.
housing.
An example of a group.
Okay.
I do
yeah.
like those
Why
three in
can't
a
I
row
picture,
on B Street.
why can't I picture B Street?
So it's
You're
like,
near A Street.
yeah, so B Street is kind of like, if you come down Cemetery Street from A Street,
Okay.
like from that corner where I am, if you
Yeah.
come down that way, and then you head like toward the Goodness Store, that's kind of
It's-
B
it's-
Street before you
If
get
you were,
Okay.
if you were going from Lovett Mill, it's a street that would
If you
bring
could
you to
walk through
Mechanic
it,
Street.
yeah.
It would bring you to the ball field.
Okay. Oops.
Okay, let's move that before we end up with seltzer all over the place.
Okay.
So this is B Street. It literally goes,
Is that the?
it's Mumford's on one side, the Mumford River's on, Mumford's on one side,
Shady.
you've got the
Kind of,
houses
yeah.
and
It's got
Mechanic,
woods on
the
one side,
ball
and
fields
there's
at one
three
end.
large, like,
And then
mill
you've got
houses
the Lovett Mill at
in
the other
middle.
end.
Okay.
And then
Does
there's
that
like
make
maybe
sense
one
where
or
I'm
two
talking
little
about now?
houses at the end.
I feel like I don't know if I'm doing a good job of explaining it.
I feel like the three big ones, like right past that corner, those to me should be included maybe as a group, because it's like three large,
Well, it's
That's fine,
1870
yeah.
Douglas, 1870 Douglas, 1870 Douglas Axe Manufacturing.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then you've got the Craig and Adams Satinette Mill Work, Douglas Axe Manufacturing, and Craig and Adams Satinette. So you've got another 1850 and two 1813. So
Okay.
all,
So I guess sorry to talk over you, what I had done was pick 9, I think, as our best example, but not the other ones, but I forgot about that conversation, so that's perfectly fine.
I mean, was I correct in that original conversation that we wanted to do the whole street? Because it was
Yeah.
all mill housing, and even though some of it's been refurbished to be current day, it still is bones of a mill street.
Yeah, and what we might want to do or consider when we're doing the photos is, depending on how they're close they are, is like the street or like 2 or 3 photos instead of each
Yeah,
one
Yeah,
if there's a
sure.
good shot,
If
you know?
the problem is, the way the street is, I don't know if we can, because the Mumford's right there, I don't know
You
if
can't
we
step
can
back.
step back enough to
Well,
get
that's why
a,
I think there's quite a bit of tree cover there too.
I don't know if we can get a wide enough, I
Yeah.
mean, as much as they don't take a great picture, it almost is like, would it be worth taking the iPhone and doing like the panoramic?
Yeah, the
Of
panoramic is great.
of 3 of the houses. Like I said, I know it's not quite how they want them presented, but I think we might get a little bit of leeway if we do it right
Yeah.
on those ones. Or even if you set it up right where you could do like 3 shots, and then if you take them at the same exact, like you use the tripod, take them at the same exact line where you can like mold them together. There's ways you can play with things.
Yeah.
I play a lot with, you've seen what I've done, I play a lot with pictures. I can play to make something
Yeah.
work if we
The
wanted to.
panoramic might be a good idea too, so. Okay, all right, so then we'll do all of B Street. Let's see, for Bowen, I
Yep.
had 6, 8, and 9.
We had also, when we had kind of gone through some of them, we had also talked about doing 5.
Okay.
I do like 5. I
tin
know
shop.
5 is a little run down right now, because it looks like their wraparound porch was removed, and I think it's been empty for a while, but I do really like the style
Yeah,
of 5.
that's fine.
It's
We can
kind
add
of
them back
unique to its own.
in. Okay.
I'm not sure where we fall. Both 6 and 10 are the Charles McKay houses. He built both of them. Remember, that was the one I did the
Yeah.
whole research on.
Okay.
And those ones are kind of screwy because they've got an
Yeah.
interesting history on them.
Mhm.
So I don't know if we want to maybe consider that.
So we've got 6 on there, but not 10.
Yeah.
So I guess so this is for photos, right?
Yeah.
Like, does, I don't remember them well enough off the top of my head. Like, does one photo give us enough of an idea, or do you think we need both?
I think one should give enough. I'm just saying, like, that was that funky, like, the history.
Yeah, right.
And then, no Dexter Whipple, 2 and 4.
No.
Okay. Neither house was in good condition for.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
what I recall.
All right, sounds good.
And then on C Street, I just have a few. Number 2. And then I have question marks on 10 and 14. There's a variety on that street, so, I mean, it's for discussion too, if there's anything that's, I don't agree.
I think, and I could be incorrect in this, I believe C Street was a lot of small houses, shed-type style houses that were turned into bigger houses. If you look at some of them, like they were bungalow-style houses.
Mm-hmm.
A few of them. You have some of the bigger ones, but then you also had a couple of bungalow style.
Pretty old, for the most
Yeah.
part, with a few exceptions, might conform.
Yeah, the 8 is the Ann Burgess, Ann and Al Burgess house.
Okay.
That was built during the war. then that one was, yeah, 10's nothing's. Ten's nothing special.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's the blue house?
No, the blue house is Ann's house.
Okay,
It's the yellow house.
okay.
It's just, it's one of those,
Paint shop, it was the Simpson paint shop.
I mean, if you look at it from the,
Okay.
I just mean, now, 12 was one of the bungalows that was in, okay, so 12, 1940 still falls kind of into our wheelhouse, which is the one next to it, which might be a good, you've got the big bush in front of it, but it's a good, might be a good bungalow type style representation of a 1940. I'm just saying, like,
It is nice.
Yeah.
you know, if we're looking for those different,
Diversity, yeah.
Yeah.
that might be a possible good.
That was
um,
12?
That was 12.
Okay.
That might be a good 1940 representation, because we did say we needed to grab some. 14, I love. I would be totally okay putting 14 in.
Yeah. That one's different.
Yeah, we looked at that the other day, yeah.
And then, yeah, 16 was nothing special.
Okay.
So 14, yes, 12, yes, 10, no.
That's fine. And then I did not check off anything on Cemetery Street. They're all in like the 50s and the 70s, but then I realized the Pine Grove Cemetery itself,
Yeah.
Yep.
didn't have a number. I probably should have checked that one off.
It was already,
Checked.
it's checked because it's a object.
Yeah, okay.
I checked all objects regardless of who had it.
Okay. All right.
Okay, so then we've got Christie's.
Okay. What are these for?
That's
That's the same thing.
the same thing where I went ahead and checked what we had gone over in the
Okay.
last meeting.
Okay, great.
Okay, so we said yes to Charles Street, 25 and 27. And then we had said yes to 3 and 9 Cook Street. And then Christie had said yes to 14 Cook Street, which is the Stearns house.
Is that the brown one? Little brown one?
Give me 1 second. Yes,
It has the red barn that's not on the property, right behind it? Yeah,
yes.
okay. I mean, it is a cute little house, but the thing's just, its former self. The square is there, but
Yeah.
the house has been gutted.
She said yes to she put a question mark on 19 Cook Street.
Yeah.
Douglas X Company Business Office, that seems like an important one.
Yes, but this is what it has become. Which is why I think she put the question mark on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay, I
Yeah.
think. Yeah.
But because but the problem is with us making our entire district about the about the mills, you kind of run into, it
Right.
we've kind of, I don't want to say pigeonholed ourselves, but we did put ourselves into there are certain things we need to include based on what we have set our parameters at.
Right.
She said yes to 20 and 21. Which, let's see.
Oh, okay, never mind. I was gonna say, hopefully we're also doing the one with the quartz garage.
Oh, right.
I think that's 22 though, so that's,
Yeah, it is.
I just think.
She had put a
1914.
question mark, but
Oh,
yeah, we'll
yeah.
go ahead with that
That one's
one.
just so unique. I mean,
Yep.
the house itself, not so much, but the
Yeah.
garage is like,
We said yes to the Cook Street Bridge, even though the Cook Street Bridge is the bridge, is that the one that's not?
that was like, I actually
Is that
went
the
and
one,
looked at it. 'cause
that's the
it's-
one that does not look like
Yeah,
it did in the
it's-
1989
Right,
Belding
exactly.
report?
Like it's 1908, but then in the 1989 Belding report, they were saying it was like one of the best examples of the type of steel architecture it was or whatever, but it
Uh-huh,
also
but it's
had
not
like a
anymore.
steel lattice rail work that
Uh-huh.
got removed, and the concrete bridge
It is
replaced that lattice work in 1995. I went and looked on the side of the bridge to see the year, and it was 1995. So it was after the Belding report was done.
Yeah.
They changed it. So I don't know really what its status is
Yeah.
now, like because it
Right.
actually was like supposedly the best example of that
too bad.
style
Yeah.
bridge, like anywhere in the area, and it kind of like had photos and its own little report in that in the thing on Macris, and I was like, oh wow, but then I was like, oh, they changed it in 1995.
Yeah, that's the
I
thing
don't know
that's
what
too
its
bad that
status
it doesn't
would
get
be.
like a look-see in 95.
Right,
you know,
I
and that kind
know,
of thing
yeah,
exists.
right.
But at the same time, I think this becomes something that's good where we can be like, this is actually you know how it was like, well, when I sent out what's our purpose? Here's a good example of what's our purpose.
Right.
Or like the building and facilities want to take down center school, our purpose.
Right.
Well, it's on this, it's here and it's here and it's part of, this is where we come in, like, we do
Yeah.
the research on this
Yeah.
Right.
stuff.
Right.
We're the researchers. Like, I'm
Yeah.
fine being a researcher. I'm a really good researcher.
This is work for the FBI.
this is my wheelhouse. Let me research.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah. So for Christy, real quick again, I've got 3, 9, 14, 19, 20, 21, 22 in the bridge for Cook Street.
You have 22 as well. Okay.
Did I? Yes, I did have 22. Sorry.
22 for the stone garage, yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, so we've got two 22. We've got two 22s. Oops. We're gonna keep both of them on and we'll figure it out when it comes
Oh,
time.
okay.
Does that work
Yeah,
with everybody?
that's fine.
Okay.
I wonder if one was for the
It's-
garage and one is
Yes,
for the house?
it's one
Oh,
of those,
okay.
and I really hate when this happens, and it happens. She's Just Properties one that it's happened with, where I've got like 3 different.
Oh,
Yeah, yep. It's frustrating. Okay, so then we've got Cottage Street, we've got the fire station,
for sure.
and then what else does she have on Cottage Street? She's got 9, 13, and 14. 5 Depot, 7 Depot, 10 Depot, 12 Depot, 19, 20, 28, 29, 29. And we already had 7 marked off, which is why I didn't read it. Does anybody want to quickly take a view of Depot because they're not sure, or anything they want to make sure has made it?
I'm fine with going what she has here.
Yeah, I think
Okay. Everybody's favorite Gilbo. Okay, we have 2, 5, okay. So when we had talked about Gilbo, we had marked 2, 4, and 5,
Yeah, I had 4 down as well.
is what we had discussed.
Yeah.
She had question marked 7.
narrow lot. I can't picture that one.
Yeah.
I can't spell apparently today. Hold on. Oh, okay, I know why.
That's
These,
the one in between.
yeah, these were all of these houses that we
Oh, okay.
we didn't know what
Yeah.
to do with.
Right.
Okay.
And I think what we ended up deciding, because we had pretty much gone through Gilbo, is we had picked the other ones already. So that's why we hadn't gone with 7, because we had found the ones we wanted elsewhere on Gilbo. Does everybody good with?
I don't think we need to add any to that.
No.
No, because we went through Gilbo with
Yeah, that
a
was the one we
fine.
went through last
Yeah.
time.
Okay,
And
that's why.
that's why it took us so bloody long, because we got very caught up on Gilbo Street, which was a mistake on our part. We got way too,
Yeah, so
Too
these.
lost on
So I was
it.
like, how come we didn't give her all of Gilboa? But then, because we already did that.
yep, we
so-
did Gilbo, we did Maine.
Okay,
We did Maine up until 274.
and then it goes to Sprott. Right.
All right, I'm ready for you.
Oh, God. See what, I can read my own writing. My number one comment, there's a lot of buildings in this town that don't have street numbers posted.
Oh, really?
Oh, really? Yeah.
So as a former ambulance driver,
That's not good.
I will have
at
you
2
know,
o'clock in the morning when it's snowing and you're like,
I will have you know that my cousin was on the fire department / ambulance.
yeah,
We have the white porch,
right.
so we've got one on the side of the house where people rarely see, and then we've got one on the front of the house. We've got them on both places, and every time my cousin is like, "Good job, Beck. Good job."
I mean, it's
Because
very evident too, because especially like you walk this and it's like,
Yeah.
honestly,
Yeah.
that's why Google the Google Street Maps and the Access
Yeah.
GIS is so helpful, because
Yeah.
yeah.
sometimes it's
Viewing physically is not as, that's much easier, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But, so I started at 275
Okay,
and, Minnie's house is a yes,
so 275 is a yes.
yeah.
275 is the one that's right next door to the
Webster First, it looks like.
It's across the street.
Across the street, okay.
275 is the one that's the
The
barn
white-
is attached to the Jenks store.
Oh,
It's the one that
okay.
shares the barn with the Jenks
Yes.
store.
Yeah.
And then,
282 is a no,
Jenks is a yes.
283 is a yes, 284 is a no. 289 I put as a yes, that's the church. 290 is a yes, library.
yeah,
295 was a little store in the day.
drugstore, interesting.
Yeah.
So it's been
It's actually looks a lot like it probably did.
so okay. So it was a drugstore, and then
Yeah.
it was a restaurant, and then it became a package store, and it was a
Mhm.
package store up until 4
Yeah.
years ago.
That's the
Yeah.
Realtor now?
Yep,
Yeah.
and so when the real estate company bought it, they actually got a hold of us, and they wanted, and this is where my research came in, they wanted as many pictures that we could find.
Yeah, they did a
Of
great
it
job.
looking,
Yeah.
and they tried to go back to the old
Yeah, it's definitely a
style.
compliment to town.
Yes.
Yeah,
it
it
looks
looks
really
Yeah,
nice.
It
so that
definitely
is
is.
definitely a keep.
I think they earned that yes
Yeah.
right
Right.
there.
Yeah,
Right.
For sure.
296 across the street. I
That's
actually
Joe's.
put as a yes. I thought that looked pretty good. 297.
The
Gregory's,
Wickstead building.
I
I
put-
would,
that I think has to be a yes.
Yeah.
I would.
It's-
I
it's
feel-
not in great
Steps
shape,
from
but
the
it's
older
still.
building in front of it that used to be there. and
Oh, yeah,
it's
yeah,
kind
yeah.
of-
The Wickstead building, yeah, it has to be.
Yeah.
Because
That's-
it's, it's actually on the building, there's 3 stores. There's 297, 299, and 301 marked on the doors.
Oh.
So they are independent. They've done it on their own probably.
That numbering is
Probably
so
for
crazy
mail.
in that building.
Yeah, so it is 297, 299, 301, and I had checked off, I thought it was, I put question mark, but is the Wickstead building, yeah, no, it's
Well,
the center of town.
yeah, and so that's also one of the ones in town that's had the storied history. It also has been rebuilt. That's one of the ones that had a big fire. So that's actually been a rebuild from the fires. The post office used to be where the dog place is.
Yes.
That was the post office.
Yep, yep. Okay.
And the bank used to be where the little coffee bean is.
Okay.
300, I said no.
I think yes.
Yeah.
That's the hotel.
Refresh my
That's-
memory which building.
Nancy
Yeah.
It
Colonero's
just-
house.
Oh,
Okay,
oh, oh.
okay.
Yeah, it just doesn't have much character anymore. That's why I put a no, but,
That's one of those ones where I think the history over.
yeah, and I
So
don't
the-
know,
the
I don't know
problem-
the history of it.
The problem with Main Street is kind of the same problem we had at the beginning of Main Street with all the older houses. Like the very center of Main Street, there's a lot of history with quite a few of those
Yeah,
buildings.
and I'm not familiar with that.
And-
Yeah,
and-
but they
and-
might not have held up, yeah.
And the thing is, like, especially that building has gone through so many things. They've had balconies, they've had grand awnings on the doors. They've had that building's gone through that building has very much changed with the times. That building has actually very
Not
much.
for the better.
But it's very much, it's changed as styles have changed, it has
Yeah.
changed with the styles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why, to me, that's a yes, because I think that's a good representation of a building staying current. Better or worse, it has very much.
It's a very well-maintained building, in and out. Yeah.
If you knew Nancy, there would have been, no doubt, Nancy ran that with
That
them.
that has a really cool barn behind it, too. Right?
So to me, that's a yes for me. But I'm always gonna say yes on that particular one.
Okay.
306 is the Grill on Main, et cetera, insurance.
Yes.
I said yes because it's 1835.
It's not. That was done this is based on the 1989 building report. That building was torn down and rebuilt during the late 80s, early 90s.
Okay.
That's one of those, this is based off of, a lot of this is building report, and I think in one of the other reports, it is listed there. So that is incorrect. That was completely demolished and rebuilt.
So it wasn't built to the original look or anything?
Nope, because that was actually a gas station.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that'd be a no. Citgo Station was a no. 312, I put no. 314, I put no. It's a duplex. It's 314 and 316.
Yep.
It just doesn't have much super character. 318, I put yes. It's the bicycle shop on one side and the shake shop, which is numbered 320 on the right side.
They're-
It has some character left.
So
to it.
they all have if you actually look, they all do have the double numbers. The problem is when I'm doing a spreadsheet, I
Yeah.
can't put the double numbers.
Yeah.
Because it throws,
It won't sort.
it throws the spreadsheet off. So I just put the first number.
Yeah.
Some of them, the double numbers are shown, some of them, they're not.
Okay.
This is just the photo index. In the more in-depth spreadsheets, the full numbers are shown in other places.
Okay.
This is just a working
Yeah.
spreadsheet.
Okay.
319 is the Chinese restaurant. I said no. 322 is Harry's Pizza. I said no.
The goodness store.
328 is the Amos Goodness Store. I put no, but it's a town character place.
It has to
so-
be yes.
I would
Yeah.
have to say yes.
Have to say
It has to be
yes.
yes.
oldest
It's the
continually
oldest
operating,
continually
right?
operating store in town, so I don't think I could give that a no.
And the thing is, if you go inside, I can tell you that it looks exactly the same as it did 40 years ago.
But not in 1928, you weren't around then.
No, but I can tell you 40 years ago, the only thing missing is Sunny behind the counter.
Oh, that's funny. I hope they can make it 4 more years. At least.
So 331
Is the post
is
office
the
/
old
town hall.
I put
Yeah.
yes. Methodist Church is a yes.
Yep.
The Falcon Block number 335, I put yes. 335. So then I got confused.
Okay, so 338, the Elmwood Club is the picket fence. The second 338 is a little barber shop that is in the back.
Yes. So I put yes,
Yes and yes?
yes.
Okay.
And then, across the street.
It's a house that's in the back. That's why you don't,
No, yeah, but I got that one. That's 338, right?
Nope, 338. 338 Main
It's
is,
a barber shop.
yep, the two,
Oh, I'm sorry. 347,
is across the street, hidden.
hidden.
Yes.
Right, I
it's-
walked up there. Yeah. I put no. 348, I put no, but it's got history, so.
Yep, that I'm overruling,
Yeah.
and in my opinion, I would say yes.
Yeah, once I kind of looked at it, I said, oh, that's a long school, so.
And believe it or not, that building has barely changed.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see that.
That building has not really changed at all in, I mean, maybe a little bit of siding and all of that, but the actual, like, structure has been very similar. It's always been split into two parts.
So not on here is 345. That's the story ABC, dentist, et cetera, et cetera.
No, that's Malcolm Block.
Balcom block?
Yep, that's a 335.
Oh, well, it's marked 345 on the building A, B, and C.
Those are the ones that go back into that?
No, right on the street, the blue building, the nice blue
Okay.
building there.
With the dentist
dentist.
and like the tax.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
so,
Alright.
yeah, this is where we get confusing. 335 Main Street is 335 to 343 is the Balcom Block.
Oh.
But on the outside of the building, I'm pretty sure it's marked 345, A, B, and C.
And,
On the right side,
yep, and,
the number, 345.
it is the Balcom Block is 335 to 343.
Well, it's a yes. But,
345, I don't believe, I believe that one, technically, in town, as far as street numbers and all of that go, does not, per town record and street numbers, does not exist.
okay,
If you were to look in like the town street number book,
Yeah.
it does not exist.
okay.
Like I said, I think I actually might have been talking to you the day I was doing this, and I think I was like cursing out the town numbers, because I'm like, because some exist and some don't.
349, I put no. 353, I put no.
We had already gone over 353 at one point, and we had said yes on that one. Why did we say
Housing.
that one?
There's a bunch of worker housing in a row.
I think we had said yes just to have one of the worker housing.
I think this is the one that's set back, right?
Nope, this is
Oh,
one.
no, there's duplexes here. 353, no, that's on Main Street.
Okay, so. Hold on. Okay. So. That one was 349. 353 is this one.
Yeah.
Like I said, we had said yes. I don't know if we had said yes just to have, okay, that one is the one that's set all the way back. I'm wondering if we
That's
had
what I
said
thought. Okay.
yes just to one of them, just
Yeah,
to
it's set
have
back,
an
yeah.
example
Yeah.
of the worker housing. And maybe that was the one that like, we're like, okay, out of all of them, this one probably is in the better condition. 347 is the L-shaped one that's right next to Balcom Block.
Oh, yeah.
349 is a, like, I believe it looks like to be a four-family that's behind 347. 353 is set back
Yeah,
in behind 355.
and 355, I put no.
So I think we would need to pick one
One or
of
the other.
Are you
those.
going to stay with 353?
Actually, I think maybe 347, just because of its sheer size and the way it does the L shape.
Is there a little porch in the corner? Isn't it?
Soldier.
That one. The one
Okay,
right next
yeah.
to Balcom Block.
Okay, yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, it's got a porch. Yeah, I'd do that.
Yeah, sure.
I'm just thinking if like, I think that one's like the biggest and.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go with 347.
7.
Okay.
358 is a duplex with 360. I put no. It's pretty old apparently, but I don't know. 359 is with 361. I'm trying to recall which one that is. I did put no.
Probably with reason, right? Because it's not even resonating as to what it was.
It's just one,
Yeah.
it's the house right before Bowen Court.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's one of the standard center of town houses right before you go on to North.
I kind of questioned 362. It's set, you don't see it. But it is there. The street number is out on the road, and then you stop and you look, and it's a cute little house. It's 362 Main Street.
Okay, so you know the house, right on the corner of North Street, this house? The one that's teal, it's the house right next to it that's all the way down.
Down the slope.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
I know the family I knew one of my friends lived there growing up, so I know that house.
Yeah, I didn't, it's another one that was like,
Right.
how many do you have,
Right.
Yeah. Well, I know.
But we don't have we really didn't pick any on that end of town.
Well, maybe we could just pick like.
We could
maybe
throw it
just
on there
something that's
and
like a good example of like that.
we could throw it on there,
style, or-
and if we go with it, we go with it. If later on we're like, no,
Yeah.
we take it off.
What number was that?
362.
Okay.
And then definitely, it says it's only built in 1903. It looks a lot older, but 365 Main Street is really grown in. It had a nice presentation originally. It's got a little walkway, but it's all, shrubs are all grown in
Oh,
and
okay.
stuff.
I think
And
I
it's
think
kind of
colonial
long,
looking.
skinny one.
no,
Is it-
no,
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 it's a
it's
colonial.
just one here.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I'm using
Yeah,
Actress
it
Gifts,
is-
which aren't great pictures, but I can get the
Yeah.
exact
Can I
house.
see that?
It's pretty.
Yeah,
It's
Yeah,
Actress
that's-
Gifts, so it's
that's
not the
very
great.
colonial. Yeah, that's nice. I don't
Okay.
know which one I was thinking. I was thinking
it's just
of
gonna be
the-
hard to photograph.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna have to get on a tractor trailer to get a picture of it.
We'll figure
Right.
that out.
If the
I guess.
shrubs are like
A
completely.
drone. Get a drone.
Yeah, that's right. Drone photo.
Or someone with a,
Yeah.
what's the
Fly-
one?
just fly by.
Oh,
Sarah, you need to leave in like,
I do. Yeah, I actually have to leave like pretty soon.
Okay.
So I don't know if you want me to quickly.
so you had the end of Northeast
over my-
Maine
I had
and
9 and 10. Yeah. So
the only thing I was thinking with the timing, I don't know if you want to leave what you, we should have done yours first.
yeah, I
Well,
didn't bring my sheet where I had checked it off, so I could either send it to you guys or I can just like quickly run through what I did because
Yeah.
I had pages 9 and 10.
the
9
only
and 10
other-
or 10 and 11.
9 and 10.
9 and 10, I think.
The
Yeah.
only
I
other
had, like,
thing I was thinking though
I think I
is,
started with North Street.
we wanted to add new business with the Soldiers Field
Oh yeah.
plaque.
Okay, so why don't we, let's go, why don't we skip to that? Why don't you just send us the stuff you did? I will
Okay.
go ahead, I will update this and just shoot it off to everybody. Everybody can review, because that'll give Christy a chance to look at it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if there's any things, because real quick, you had 9 and 10, which left page 11 open.
And I think 11, it was Orchard Place and Yacino Drive and Pleasant Street and School Court, so.
Yeah, and I
I
think
don't know
we,
if anybody really
well, we weren't doing anything on Yacino Drive, because they were all
Yeah, right.
63s.
Yeah.
Orchard Place
is all like
was,
39, 38,
and they were Schuster interest, and I think we were kind of like, eh.
right?
And then,
Court, I'm surprised those are so old.
but the problem is They
not
were-
what they were.
Yeah, and then you've just got the Pleasant Street, which almost, I would
did
say,
school court, yeah.
I would say the three on Pleasant Street are all yeses.
Okay.
Because, I mean, it's right behind the
Yeah,
real
right,
estate, and
right.
it's those
Yeah,
three
I do
houses.
like those,
So I would say, to
yeah.
me, those are all yeses.
That's,
Good
yeah, I
idea.
agree.
So it would just be the question of of the Orchard Place couple of ones.
Okay.
Yep.
Which I didn't think that they were.
Anything to
Yeah.
write home about.
I did them, but I didn't. Which
We do
I was
also-
fairly negative that day anyway, so.
Sometimes that happens.
Well,
We do
it's
also
tough.
have,
It's tough when you're like you start out and you get frustrated over something, and then it just kind of clouds your entire opinion as you're doing it.
And
You're
also, like,
right?
the further you get along, too, right? You're like, I have so many.
Yeah, and I think that happens too. You're like, wait a minute.
Yeah,
So we do have 11 Gleason Court on here too, right? The old grammar school.
Yes, the old grammar school is on here.
It's the
Real-
last meeting I went to for Community Preservation Act, one of the
Oh.
people there was trying to tell me that is not a historic building, and that's something I
It
kind of wanted
technically, it
to,
technically is not. It is not.
because it's not on a.
It is not on a. It is
Register?
not on a register.
Was it ever submitted? Because when I looked at Macros,
No, it
it
was
looked
not.
like someone had tried to nominate it, so I was.
I think it was
Hmm.
part of. I think it was part of the entire downtown district that they were trying to do the same
Like,
time they did the old
Yeah.
old Douglas. They were trying to do a downtown district at the same time. The old Douglas passed through. The downtown district did not, and that's the one that has just kind of been.
Rolling along.
Yes.
Okay.
And that's what we're trying to get passed
Yeah.
through now.
Because I thought I
Technically-
saw when I looked at Macros, it looked like someone had nominated it at some point in the 90s based on like
What's
certain
the
criteria.
address again?
I can look it up right now.
It was
11.
Gleason Court, 11
11.
Gleason Court.
Um,
So it actually had like a lot in its little PDF they have on there. So.
well, what I'm thinking is when they did the Belding report, there's a very good chance that that was one of the properties that they had talked about wanting to nominate.
Yeah.
So there's a very good chance they could have gone ahead and done a lot of the initial research.
Yeah.
To start. Oh, will you stop
Oh, no.
going? Oh, you are so annoying.
Just update. All right.
So, this is.
Yeah, because they had that whole little card with it, and it said
Ooh,
individual.
yeah, they actually did try to get it in '95.
Yeah, so it looked like it was nominated, and it said honored for the nomination, so I didn't know if that meant it was nominated. Because it says honor as a check mark. I was just curious on that.
No, if you guys want to keep talking, and I will research this and listen at the same
I'm
time.
probably gonna run though, because I have 10 minutes until
Yeah.
live.
Well, did you want to, real quick,
So it's not on the agenda because it came in too late, but I thought we might add it as new business, and I know it's out of order, but this is what was, that Sarah had wrote up before, and I thought we might go through.
there we go.
might not have enough time, but the idea initially had been to put, to kind of word it as a group with what
Yeah.
we need and what we don't.
Right.
I guess the rest of us can continue with it.
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave this on, so when you guys are done.
Oh, what do we need to
If
do?
one of you just wants to hit the little square, see that little?
What
um,
color is it?
It's a white button. It's right next to the red button that's on right now, so just tap that when it's done. And if you don't want to, you can just leave it on and I'll come back and shut it off.
What does
at
it
the
say?
end.
What does the button say?
It's just a little square stop button,
Stop.
like
Okay.
right next to record. But if you don't feel like touching it, you
I'm
don't
sure
have
we
to,
can.
and I'll come back and hit it if you want.
We'll have to figure out how you want to get the program done for it, because I've got
Yeah.
the original program,
Oh,
so we'll want to
okay.
have to figure out the best way to do
Yeah,
the program.
Right.
'cause
So maybe we can put it on like our next agenda for like going over it again. I know.
Yeah,
what,
definitely.
what would be good for a meeting for you? Do we want to try and do September? Do we
Yeah,
think?
sure. I think we could do a September.
Or do we want to try and go earlier?
I think September's fine, and then maybe some other things might come up by email, you know what I mean?
or what's best for you still, Tuesdays?
Anytime really, yeah, I mean, because I'm either
That's around the
I'm
time
either here
that it
or not
changes.
here, but yeah, so,
Oh, I leave for vacation on the 15th of September for 10 days.
Where are you going this time?
Austria.
Okay, so I've got some.
yeah, so just send me your next meeting and I'm sure I'll be able to,
Okay.
I'll be able to make it.
We might not be
I'll
able to
work
book
it in.
anyway without knowing Christie's schedule.
Okay, but we can send some
Options.
options out, yeah.
Thanks, Sarah.
You're welcome.
Don't forget your
Oh,
bird
yeah.
seed.
That in my purse.
Someone will be like, why is this here?
The mice will be going, I can't believe how nice they are.
Yeah, so I quickly pulled up the school courts, and they were not worth.
Yeah, nothing. I think I've done them for the census or something.
Yeah, so school courts are not worth looking into.
Okay.
Like I said, Pleasant Street, I would do all three. Casino Drives are no. Orchard Place, nothing.
I didn't say anything.
Okay, quick question, 1938, nothing really stuck out as being maybe something worth highlighting from that time period?
The 5 Orchard Place in 1938, is that what you're talking about?
Well, all but number 4 were all done at the same exact time by Schuster Interest. It was basically, he put up the entire, the street was
He
his.
sponsored it, yeah.
Yeah,
So Schuster did those. Probably a good idea to,
well, that's why I was
Could
wondering.
you just pull one up?
because
Yeah.
you can tell a story with it.
Well, that's why I wondered.
And it's right close to the year of the ball field, you know, it's within 10 years of the ball field being dedicated, so probably not a bad idea to get something in that. We don't have much, and 1938 is an interesting year because it's the year of the hurricane.
Oh, yeah.
So you could do a lot with that.
Ooh, please tell me this one's, okay, I like 5.
Oh, yeah, that looks good.
Yeah, I guess that looks like 38. The tree is 38.
Oh, shoot, nope, that's not, never, hold on one second. It wasn't on
It went
5
around the
anymore.
corner?
Yep, it wasn't 5 anymore. It was 5 for you, and by the time okay, so my screen is a touch screen. Okay, and that wasn't, so which number is this one here? What number are you? Right here. Okay, it's 6. This pretty yellow one. That's the one I was trying to show everybody that
Oh,
I
yeah.
then touched everything on.
That's fine,
So the
too.
garage was converted, is that what that is? Garage to, like a family room or something? Yeah.
I think they made the house still look pretty.
Yeah,
It's,
yeah.
you know, because we're also looking for houses that look nice.
Not more than.
Well, like I said, you can tell a story with it.
Okay.
It's a period of time just pre-war, Hurricane of 38, Schuster
Yeah.
should have something that he's done, other than his working housing units. Did he build a lot of houses in town?
I don't think that he built a lot of them. I think he bought up a lot of them,
Okay,
and he used them for worker housing.
Yeah.
And then then what he would do is he acted like a bank.
yeah. Right, he
And
was,
a lot of his employees would buy them, whether they would be his office employees
Yeah.
or his mill employees. Like, so one of the North Street houses at the bottom, my uncle actually bought one of those houses.
Oh.
And he bought it early on in the 30s, and they lived in that house until he passed away in the 2000s.
right,
And it was a 4 apartment, and they rented them out, and when they were first being used, they weren't apartments, they were basically bunkhouses where you had the beds and you had the locker, and that's
Okay.
how it was.
yeah.
So that's what those 4 houses down at the bottom of North Street are, which is why I find those 4 houses so fascinating. I've also explored them because, like I said, he lived there, my uncle lived there, Jed lived there before we got married. And the thing is, like, the attic is creepy. Like, it's really creepy. My
This
mom,
definitely goes there.
my mom used to want to get like a piece of sheet metal and go up and like sneak into the attic and go right above Jed's room and like do that to the
like-
sheet metal
yeah.
just to freak him out, because that's the creepiness of like the
Yeah.
old buildings, because the attics just had that single like light bulb on the string.
Yeah, yeah.
And because there was no air conditioner or anything in them, the heat on the attic would just like shrivel any like curtains or anything. It was just very much a house of its time.
Yeah.
There's so many of the multifamilies that were sublet and really compartmented into like these little tiny rooms, and that's what they let out. I remember in Upton right, can't remember the name of the street, but there's, you know, like a 1785 building, but it's massive.
Yeah.
Right? And it was worker housing, but you go in the attic and all the room numbers are still there, and you look at the room and you're like, that person lived in that room
Yeah, literally a room.
with maybe a spot to put a chair, a trunk, and a little desk.
Well,
a
his
bathroom.
so his
Oh,
bedroom,
common bathroom.
his bedroom could fit a queen size bed, and you know, like the plastic towers that like with the pull out drawers that you
Yeah.
can get at Walmart. That was his.
Well, they
one-
had like a Murphy bed for a
But
lot
that
of
was
it.
like the one nightstand that could fit on the side of
Yeah.
his bed. He could not
That's it.
fit two
Right.
nightstands with
Like
a
a
queen
real-
bed in
Yeah.
his room.
Yeah.
He did not have a dresser. He had
No window.
He had another type thing
Yeah.
in the closet.
No air. Oh.
His what we ended up using is like his den area. He could not fit a full size couch. He had to get a love seat.
Yeah.
And it could not be a wide love seat.
A settee.
It had to be like a narrow one, because
Yeah.
we couldn't get it up the stairs. So that was like his two main living rooms.
Yeah.
The kitchen was huge. He could have fit a full couch, a
could have
full,
slept in the
like he could have put a full everything in the kitchen.
Was it a common kitchen?
Nope.
Oh.
They
Oh.
all four apartments have their own kitchen.
Oh.
Now his bathroom, I felt like I was back in college anytime I
Yeah.
had to shower there. Like the bathroom was very
Yeah.
very claustrophobic
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
bathroom.
Yeah.
Now, the guy who lived next door, the other side apartment, he had a slightly bigger bathroom, but his kitchen was smaller. So some of the rooms were very interesting. But the porch was enclosed, so it kind of gave them an extra living space. But like I said, you couldn't get furniture up the stairs because
Right.
the stairwell was like
Yep.
this big.
Yeah.
And I mean, for the early 1900s, it worked, but for 2006, with today's furniture, we had a bear moving him in and moving him out.
Yeah. That was one.
And the two of us lived there for 4 months after we got married, and it's amazing we lasted the first 4 months of our marriage, because that apartment was so small.
Yeah. Oh my God.
So like I said, those houses to me are fascinating because of their history, which is one of
Yeah.
the reasons I would love to highlight them.
Yeah. Okay. So what did we decide with Sarah's? Are we gonna?
She's gonna
Yeah.
email it to me,
Okay.
and I will go ahead, update them, and I will
Share
shoot,
this.
I will shoot this off to everybody.
Okay.
Do we like the way I've got everything blued for the ones
Yeah.
we decided? Does that
Yeah.
work
I
for
just
everybody?
think you should probably put a indication. You know what I mean? Blue equals that somewhere.
Okay, blue is ones we're sticking with.
Yeah. Because
Okay.
sometimes it could just look like the old. With those old printers where it was like every other color, you know
Well,
what I mean?
you're looking at the old one. This is.
Yeah, but it could look like that, you
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Well, do you want me to do a color different than blue, since
No.
we've got a lot that are
No,
blue?
all I'm saying is like in 20 years when someone looks at this, I want them to know what
Oh,
it was,
gotcha.
you know?
Okay, so
So we can basically say.
that covers our report on progress of downtown district.
We don't really need to walk through.
No, so are we going to now be looking at getting pictures?
Yeah.
Well,
Is
no,
that
I
where
think that
we're-
next thing we need to do is count them and see if we need to pare them down.
Well, I
Or
can,
pair
We can
them up.
still take the photos.
Really?
And then maybe look at them as a photo, then
Okay.
rather than like photo and then look at
and
it.
like I said, stuff we're gonna wanna take into consideration, when we're taking the photos. Does the property look nice enough to take a photo?
Yeah,
You know?
we'll come back in the fall or,
Well, I guess that's also the other question. I mean, as much as we want to do,
You do the first week of October?
as much as we,
It's gonna be here because
Yeah.
we're not meeting till September.
Yeah.
but I mean, as much as we want to do the nice, like, summer green grass photos, do we want to wait till maybe fall where we're gonna have less tree cover?
Yes, I think so.
We're still gonna have we're gonna have the pretty fall, like, you know,
September or, well, first let's talk about like what we're thinking. So if you do that list and whatever we have, it's still the digital age. We can initially take them as,
I have another thought to put into place. What's coming up in 5 months that people are,
Oh.
election
Yeah.
season, we're gonna have
Oktoberfest.
signs.
we're gonna have signs for election season.
Signs.
I'm just saying, like, oh, this is something we need to take into consideration
Yeah,
of whether or not people, I want to keep this as depoliticized
right.
as possible. We
You
risk,
could, if you got, well, I'm gonna say, if you got into that situation, you could possibly take it, it's gonna take more work though, to take it at an angle without the signs, yada, yada.
or we put it,
So-
or we put it on a back burner and we take it a little bit later when there's possibly no signs.
Well, I'm.
You know what I
thinking-
mean? Like,
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I think it's something we need to take into consideration if we're waiting, if we want to wait to the fall because we're gonna have better visibility of houses. We are running into, the election is going to be that much closer. We are running into the possibility of political signs.
So if we have the list, you know, in the next week or so of what we just picked, because we still have a quorum with the three of us, then we could go ahead and take the photos of these 100 or 200, whatever we ended up with. We look at them digitally and then decide from there and print them out. I think we still need to print them out for that stage, right?
I can always do, there's a way you can just print, like, I can, if I've got them all digital, I can print them out where I'm not printing off, like, nice photos. I can just
Oh,
use
just like a,
just on this,
thumbnail or something?
on like this type of piece of paper.
Yeah.
I can do proofs, just so so we can lay them out. I can do 5x7 proofs, so we can have, they're not gonna be the highest quality, they're not gonna be the sharpest quality, but they'll be a visible, I'm not talking for Ben, I'm talking for us
Okay.
too.
I'm just trying to figure out like our steps, so.
Before we can even get them to Ben, we need to figure out what we want.
But like, I'm trying to remember what we need, like, we keep focusing on the photos, which is fine, but I just want to remember like, what our steps are with him, because we go to him with like a narrative in the A form, which is the area form.
So the A form has to have the photo index included on it.
Okay,
Which is
we-
why we are focusing on the photos right now, because that is where we are stuck.
So this is essentially a part of the A form,
This is a
right?
huge part of the A form.
Okay, and I feel like I might want to look at that reference exam, that's in our Google Drive?
Yes, that is in the Google Drive. If you were to go to, bear with me for 1 second. If you were to go to Project Downtown Douglas,
Okay,
there is the samples, and we are looking at the Lennox National Register of Historic Places registration form.
okay.
Just pulling it up just to make sure that it is in fact the one that I am.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is.
Well, I've got a couple of Lennoxes, so I want to make sure
Ah.
I'm referencing the right Lennox. Yep, I am referencing the right Lennox. So, the problem with their A form that he said to us, I don't want you guys doing, is he was not crazy about the way they had done their photo index. He wanted us to have a better, their photo index, they had just like, no, they did have the photo index he liked.
Okay,
So that what they did, so they had like I'm gonna just read the first line off.
yeah,
MHC number, LEN.42, map parcel number, 43-162, address, 16 Church Street, date 1771, circa 1820, circa 1900. So if we've got properties where we've got multiple dates, like prime example, Sarah's house, where we know we've got multiple building dates, it looks like we can add those.
Okay.
Historic name, John Whitlock slash, I can't make that out, Parsons House. Style, federal slash colonial revival. Type, B, building. Status, C, contributing. There's no photo number. But if it was photo 1, we would put 1.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that's what we have to do. So that's why we have to have those done. And I think he also did want, with ours, he wanted our photos. He wanted our map outline, where I will also.
Which you have.
Yep, but I have to split the map. I
Yeah.
still have to split the map. I haven't
Okay.
split the map yet.
Okay.
That has to be done at work when I am upstairs, because upstairs I have the biggest screen. Downstairs I've got, my screen is smaller, not by much, but when you're working on something like a map,
Yeah.
that like 3-inch difference in a screen makes a huge difference.
What's the date of our election? Elections.
November 2nd?
So is that the only local?
I actually don't think we're having, okay, actually, elections are November 4th. I don't think we're having elections. We should
Outside
have.
of that.
No, it's only
So
the,
there's nothing else? Well,
our elections are always in May.
so what are you concerned about signs like? President?
Biden, yeah. I want no political signs. I don't want Biden, I don't want Trump, I don't want anything.
I mean, the
want,
last election, there was very few signs.
I don't want to, I think
They
there's,
just-
I think there's going to be a lot. I think it's
Or we
something.
could, I mean, who's doing the photography?
Is,
I'll
Right.
probably have Fred do it.
But can't he just like go and do the ones that don't have signs?
well, I'm saying, I'm just.
Yeah, if we do have a choice of like
Yeah.
4 that are the
Yeah.
same.
I'm just saying, I want it to be taken into consideration that we are getting, I think this is going to be a very controversial year, possibly, and it's something we need to take into consideration as we're going to take property pictures, because I've been driving around and I'm seeing more and more signs popping up
Yeah.
already.
Yeah,
I'm seeing more and more signs popping up already.
yeah. Okay. Well, there, to your point, there's ways to work around it. Like you take the one, you get closer, or you stand in front of the sign, take the picture.
Just take the sign down, so.
Depending on the sign.
I'm just saying, it's stuff that we need to take into consideration as we're doing this.
Right. That's a good
Yeah.
point. So I'm like torn because it looks better when there's like everything's in bloom, but then the
Yeah.
tree cover
Right.
Kills
is
us.
an issue. And then if you get into November, if you get too late in November, it gets cold and then snow and whatever.
And again, and maybe for Fred's benefit, why can't we just stagger when he takes the pictures?
That's true.
So that we can start tomorrow. Just
Do
kidding.
like Main Street has a whole bunch. We could
Yeah.
probably just like go down
Okay,
Main Street.
Or, I mean, okay, no, that's not, I was gonna be like, at the same time, do we wanna do an entire street done on one day and then another, like, do we wanna have?
I
street-
say, as long as you have a list,
Do it when you can do it.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, because there's no reason to, I guess what I'm saying is, there's no reason not to start taking photos.
Right.
Because even if we just change our mind and we say, oh, we want 9
Especially
A
ones where
Street.
the foliage is great.
Yeah,
you know,
so
I can
like
see
the
the
library, we
house.
definitely want it. Like,
so
Library,
I
yeah.
think
The
if
churches.
there's a property where like the foliage is too much in front of it,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
it gets marked
Yeah.
where
Yeah.
this property we need to come back to.
Yeah.
I agree.
I don't think we mark the property, I guess my concern is I don't wanna mark the property completely off of the list. I wanna go, make sure we go back to it.
Right.
I don't wanna ignore properties.
Right, and then we could maybe have it,
Yeah.
maybe we get another one in September, October.
Because we already know that the document is not gonna be ready before December 1st. It's
Right.
not gonna be ready,
Right,
so which means Christmas, which means,
another
January
season.
1st.
Yeah, right.
so,
Because that would be the worst time, when the snow cover.
Yeah.
And it's,
but that's a
not so
good time
pretty.
to get your, the document
Right.
finished because it's winter. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Soldiers Field, he's going to want to.
Yeah.
Soldiers Field and the monuments
Honestly,
now.
now.
Okay.
Because it's green grass.
Yeah.
And
Those are.
we hit a drought, yeah. it's
Those
gonna-
are the ones you want to get now because
Yeah.
you're going to have the prettiest.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
And I don't know how good Babe Ruth is right now, so I don't know how well they're caring for the field.
At Soldiers Field.
Yeah.
Okay.
Soldiers Field, I would suggest doing the Babe Ruth section of the
I
field.
don't know by that.
Okay, so you've got Soldiers Field, you've got the big field, which is kind of got like the mini Fenway look. And then you've got a Little League field that's in the front, right by the road.
Okay.
So I think you want to get both areas.
Okay.
I don't know if they still have. Okay, so if this is Soldiers Field. This is the Babe Ruth Field.
Okay.
Then you have the Little League Diamond. And Once Upon a Time, I don't know if it's still there. I'm trying to do this,
Paperclip
but
under there. But-
that's what it is. There used to be a field here too.
Okay.
I would try to get pictures of all if there's all three fields still there.
Yeah.
Get pictures of all three fields, but this one here is the primary focus field.
Okay.
Because this is the one where they played in 46. This is the one where they played in 96.
Okay.
This is the one where the Mill Baseball Leagues played in town. This is the one where the Babe Ruth plays now when we've had good Babe Ruth teams and all
Yeah.
of that. So this is the primary field, but these are the fields that the kids play on.
Yeah.
So I feel like they've got their own importance, but this is the big one. But
Okay.
you want to get all with that being the primary
Okay.
focus.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Okay, so first step is to get the list. And then we can maybe slowly start taking them. I don't know how fast it's gonna go. And then
I can
maybe
get-
at the next if we can get them done by the September meeting, then we
I
can
feel like-
look at them as thumbnails or some version
Well, like
of
I
that.
said, if you and Fred can get them to me, and we might be able to set up a way that we can like do like a Dropbox or something where
Yeah.
they're being dropped into, so we're not trying to send them back and forth to each other. You're just
Yeah.
downloading them right into a folder, and we both have access.
Yeah, so they're not compressed in that whole thing.
Yeah, if we can do that, that would be nice, and then I can
Okay.
print them off and we can lay them out. I think it's gonna be much better if we can lay them out than trying to look at them on screens, that kind of stuff.
Right.
I feel like we don't wanna push ourselves by saying, let's have them all done by September. I think we pick
See
a
where
couple,
we are.
pick a couple of streets, and if you get the couple of streets done by September,
Yeah.
Great.
And like we were saying, like some that are clustered together, we could look at those, see how, how it comes together.
Yeah.
so the big group of pictures taken was in 2008.
Okay.
297 photos were taken in 2008. A lot of them were taken in January. So we've got a lot of snow cover. Some of them were actually really done well with the snow cover. Quite a few in March, and then a few closer to the end of the year. We've actually got a lot of Orchard Place in here. Then let's see here. There was a few taken in 2017. Few taken in 2018. Gilbo was done in 2018 near the mill. And there were a few taken other points in time, but not a lot. 2008 was the last big photo take.
From the
As-
town?
Nope,
No,
from
us?
from us that I was given the photos of. Does
Okay.
that mean that there aren't more pictures floating around from someplace else? That could be. But
Yeah.
what I was given from David, and I think you might have given me some that you had as well, 2008 was the last big
Okay.
push. So
Okay.
we're looking at 14 years ago.
Yeah,
So even if some of the houses look the same,
yeah,
um, they're not what we need.
okay. All right, so that sounds like a plan. So I think we'll see how far we get, you know, like I have no idea if it's gonna go quickly or slowly. And then, so for the next meeting, we'll want to, review where we are with photos and the form.
You know what I'm gonna do also? I'm gonna go through and I'm gonna try and put together, not a timeline as far as dates that we need to be done, but a checklist
Yeah,
of
that would be
what
helpful.
Ben needs from us.
Yeah,
And like I said, not necessarily a timeline, but more like, these are the steps we need.
this has to go before this.
Yep, and put in notes, and this way, we've got it in front of us, so we're not constantly like, okay, what was this email, what was this one?
Yeah, yeah,
It
that
might
would be
take me
very
a couple
helpful.
of weeks, because like I said, we've got a lot going on, but I will do my best to get a
Okay.
timeline.
And then not everybody has this email, so I was thinking, I might have forwarded it at one point, but it's probably not comprehensive either.
Well, that's well, that's what I'm saying, like that, it's the convoluted email that you and I are also trying to remember conversations we had with him.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm saying, maybe if I can just do a checklist slash
Yeah,
timeline.
they might even have a resource on their
It
MHC
might,
site.
it might be our best bet to share with people.
Okay, that sounds good. Okay, so that would be sort of our next steps, because that's on our agenda today, discuss next steps for sharing with the MHC. So we might not have that yet, but,
I feel like we're making progress. I think we got caught up. One thing, and I know I'm at fault for this as well. I think we're getting caught up on the little things.
yeah.
Well, would it benefit us to have a timeline?
Well, that's what I'm gonna create a checklist.
Just a single page timeline, the months laid out
Well,
through.
I don't know if we can put the months on it, but we could say it's gonna take us, we could roughly do it, maybe,
I
like
th-
it's gonna
okay,
take us 6
so-
For our
months to do
goal,
this.
what our goals are.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I'm gonna have a checklist
Let's
based
try to
on.
have this,
I'm gonna have a checklist based on what Ben MHC
And then
conversations we
we
have
can set
had.
dates to it next
Yeah.
time.
Why not?
it's just a goal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Goals are made to
you know
not
what?
be met.
We're gonna do we're gonna do an MHC strategic plan, not a,
Okay.
a DHC strategic plan.
That's what we'll call it.
Yeah.
Next time you are in to sign payroll,
Yeah.
can you come in? Can you give yourself, if
Time
you're
on
able
either
to?
side.
Yeah, and maybe come down and visit with me, and we can just look
Sure.
at this and see
Yeah,
if
it'll be a
I'm.
Wednesday. I don't know
Just
what
because
time.
we both talked to Ben and see if I'm missing anything, I feel like
Yeah.
it'll go easier for in person
Sure.
rather than trying to do it over
Yeah.
phone or email.
Yes.
But we'll get a strategic plan, we'll set it, and then our September meeting, we will sit down and we'll be like, first thing where I think we do in that September meeting is we lay out that checklist. And we're like, okay, let's try and set reasonable goals based on this checklist,
Okay.
and we go from there.
Okay. So I do want to talk about the Soldiers Field as new business. So I don't know if we need to. What's the official thing we need to do? We just say the next on the agenda.
Okay, so
Any new business?
New business.
Yep, we are moving on to new business
Yes.
unless anybody has anything to add on old business.
No.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, so new business, I wanted to review what Sarah Guyman had shared with the Recreation Committee for a sign at, a historic sign at Soldiers Field. So the idea was to look at the text for the plaque, or copy for the plaque, and see what we might want to edit as a group. So that's my movement, I guess.
I just have a couple, I think it's to the point.
I
I don't know what our
I want to check,
limitations are.
I want to check the number of fans. I think the number of fans might
Wow,
be,
12,000.
I think it might be slightly different. I've got the newspaper articles. I would like to just,
Yeah.
I would like to,
Absolutely.
Not that you can trust what the newspapers say,
I would like to
because back in
just,
those days, they really exaggerated.
My concern was different. I was concerned with the length of it because I don't know like the cutoff, but I'm gonna guess the more letters, the more money, and so like maybe we get a
Yeah.
quote for 1,000, and
It
this can be
definitely
2,000.
can be condensed.
Yeah.
Grammatically, I would say, the first sentence, game was played at this location or something, not here. Just take out,
Okay.
I would get rid of the word here,
Okay.
change it to
All
something
right,
else.
let's do that.
do you want me
Um,
to type up? I can.
I'm thinking maybe you could type it in real time, like to have the copy. I don't know if you've got it in a document because it was shared in a document.
Hold on. I've got too many screens. Don't you hate when you've got too many screens open?
Yes, I'm finding now that I have 2 screens, I need 3 screens. And then I'll need 4.
Well, so I keep telling Justin, I'm like, when are we getting, because he's talking about upgrading the computers. I'm like, can I get 2 screens when we upgrade computers?
Yeah.
He's like, you're asking for a lot here. I'm like, please. Okay.
Yeah, we need to know what the limitations are, or what the expense is, because one
Yeah.
thing that does happen is the font gets really small.
And you can't, especially on a
it's like-
brass plaque, you're like, what is that?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
We might even want to do like a slightly revised of this, and then
Mhm.
like a really short, like 3 lines, and then figure out the
Why
pricing
could I
from there.
not
I do have the
find-
pricing, but not on me.
So you mean like, so as a capture the eye,
I'm thinking like if
Thing,
we
and
find
then
out, no, if we
description.
find out like this is going to be prohibitively expensive with
Oh, here we go.
6,
yeah.
what is this, like 10 lines,
Mhm.
then we might be like, okay, what is it going to be for 4 lines? And then we make it much shorter. But there's also different kinds of, like this, I was thinking, these I think are priced as a brass plaque, where, like you said, it's like, it can't be too small.
Yeah.
But if we went to a whole other style, you've seen them at like museums, where
Right.
it's like more printed out.
So so also something.
I didn't price that.
I think we need to be aware of is, one of the things is like, stuff can definitely get not great, like weather. I want to make sure whatever we go with can handle weathering.
That's a good point.
I think a lot of weathering just kills stuff.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, if it fades and stuff, it looks
it
terrible.
fades, that kind of stuff. A great example is like, they tried to do that sign for Soldiers Field, for the Veterans Field for the soccer, which I thought was a great thing. But it very much has like, you can see like, it's already warping and all of that kind of stuff. And that's just very much stuff I think we need to be very careful of. I don't want us to spend a lot of money and then
And have it not be good.
and have it destroyed.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen that a lot too, where you'll get a painted bronze sign, and it just turns over time from the UV rays, from
Yeah.
whatever, acid rain, all the stuff, the effects that have on it, that it really looks crappy.
Yeah.
It doesn't age well.
Yeah. So one thing, being the treasurer, is we were given. I was just thinking about the money of it.
Here's the original scorecard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be really nice if we could have that photograph.
So here's the thing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So I've the original's mine. So we can do a lot with it as far
Nice.
as taking photographs, taking scans, all of that. So the reason I'm pulling this up is it gives a lot of information right on the scorecard.
Yeah.
We've got the year. We've got
the
the
famous players.
We've got the location. We've got the 2 players that matter, 46. Batting average, and what was DiMaggio? He had a record of his own in 46.
games, consecutive games?
Nope, that was Gehrig. DiMaggio had his own, he had some kind of record in 46, I believe, as well. But you had two players that had amazing seasons. They're the best of the best, but you've got both of them on the card, the teams, the year, so you can get rid of quite a bit of this.
If you were able to reproduce that at the
Reproduce
same
that.
time.
Yeah, if you were able to kind of have some form of this on it. Now,
I think we're not talking brass anymore. I think we're talking like a museum kind of sign.
I think
that's
we're talking
because I would
like-
love to have that next to text.
I think what we really want to do is, we want to do something like what you see in Arizona when you go to the botanical gardens and the zoos. You have the colored signs that tell you all about the zoo animals, and they've got pictures and facts on them. And they can hold up to Arizona heat.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure they have the same exact kind that you can find at like the Roger Williams Zoo that can hold up to New England heat,
Yeah, well,
humidity.
certainly, they accept that type of, I like that better than just words on a brass.
Yeah,
on a
But,
brass
but what I'm saying
card.
is you can do this with the words.
With-
If you do, if you,
You
do,
have,
We could have both. Yeah, next
Yeah.
side by side.
if you
Yeah.
do a zoo, if you do like a zoo style
yeah,
information thing, like I said, if
Yeah.
you're standing in front of the zoo exhibit, you read about the animals.
Yeah.
They've got a picture. They've got the facts on it. You know that those signs hold up to the weather
Yeah.
because they're there all year round.
Yeah. So initially I was like thinking really short because like maybe it being brass, but if we're probably going with some, I mean, there's something that the commercial ones must do because they're not fading after a few
composite,
years.
but it has a layer of, it has a
It's
a
almost
clear
like-
layer over it that doesn't get
Yeah.
ruined by the
I also-
UVs.
I also think what it is it's multiple. I think it's printed multiple times. It's the
Yeah.
same sheet that's printed like 50 times.
Yeah.
And then it's layered on top of
How do we
each.
find these people though? I don't even know what
Well,
to search
isn't
for.
that- don't they have them over at the, don't they have that at like Dry River or aren't there like park entrances that have
Yeah,
them?
but who knows where, who
the
knows
Blackstone
source for
Valley
that?
Heritage Corridor.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sure that they'd be like,
Yeah.
it's only gonna take 10 phone calls to
Well, I
get to
just
that
think that
person.
I think that
But
they,
I think if you want to have a visual representation to go along with this, this is going to be our
Yeah,
best
I think that's
bet.
good. And then
I've just been worried, and again, I've been worried about this whole vandal thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because the field is on its own,
yeah,
all right? And kids break into these buildings that we're trying to save all the
Right,
time.
right.
So, you know, when you give temptation there to
yeah.
vandalize something,
Yeah.
you need
So-
to, you need to step back and say, I think those are are more vandal-proof that a composite sign, whatever they are,
Yeah.
than,
And the thing is, a composite sign, if we even wanted to add a layer of protection, what you could do, the story walk.
Yeah.
The signs are, the story walks are under a plexiglass. So you could actually have the sign that we have made.
Yeah.
And then you could actually have like a
plexiglass
plexiglass over it.
protector.
So if that gets vandalized,
Yeah.
you know what? You swap out the plexiglass.
And also,
Yeah.
if you look
Not
at it
saying-
that perspective, I don't know if they're any less than a bronze sign, but let's say it's half the cost.
Yeah. Right. And you know what I was
You know.
thinking? I was thinking too is so I was trying to say we did have that 4,500. I think we still have it for a consultant.
Mhm.
Other than that, we don't have a budget. The Parks and Rec, whatever they're called, does, but they're not going to want to give it all to us or a big portion of it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I have a feeling something like this, sports oriented, that we could do some kind of small fundraiser for it. if
Okay,
needed.
and here's something else we could do. This is another thing. I don't have as pretty of a copy, but that's an aerial view of
the
the game
day.
day.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's so neat.
So, I mean, we've got a picture of this, and we've got a picture of the scorecard, and we've got other small pictures throughout. So what we could do is if we have a big enough board, we could almost,
A couple of them, like
we
Cape
could,
Cod Canal.
we could collage it a little bit.
Yeah.
And have, as opposed to having a write-up, we could have a small write-up in the center that's like, here's the thing, but then we could be like, under the picture of the aerial view, 12,000 fans came to watch this game.
Yeah.
Under a picture of some of the
I think
players.
it's a lot more attractive and intriguing for youth too,
Right, to have a photo.
rather than a brass plaque.
Yeah,
As a
totally
kid's not,
agree.
you know,
Yeah.
they're,
I mean, the best part about going to Cooperstown, while the hall is nice and you get to see all the plaques,
Yeah.
the best part's going through the museum and reading all of the history of the game. The plaques are cool, you get to see your favorite player and be
Yeah.
like, oh, that's cool. But the museum part is more interesting because it's got all that history and all
Right.
those
Yeah.
the information.
Yeah. All right, well, let's still edit this down.
the only thing I saw was, when you refer to scores of games, you always put the winning score first.
Yes.
And that's a soccer thing. This is like a soccer thing. It's not
What's a soccer thing to do?
to
7?
do 7 to 8.
Okay.
Yeah, it's one of those pet peeve things I have.
No, it's, and I really don't want to talk about soccer right now, please.
Are you typing it in real?
Yes, I don't know if you watch soccer, but
It's very traditional in baseball to put the
the Yankees,
team first.
the Yankees
The
won.
final score,
Yeah.
8 to 7.
Right.
The Yankees won with a score of
8
8
to
to
7.
7.
Yeah.
You know what? It takes it. You lose a lot of the
Yeah.
verbiage.
But that's going to probably be in your scorecard.
No, that's a blank scorecard.
Oh,
So my grandmother had just given birth to my uncle, so they didn't get to go to
So,
the game. So we just got a blank scorecard.
so is there a final scorecard?
I don't know.
That would be fun.
You know, Lori Church had some stuff at the Historical Society. I can check with her.
Yeah, that'd be really neat if they had because the names on there, people will go, oh, wow, Pesky played, or whatever,
Legendary
yeah.
players. Okay. Okay. So. Part of me is like, if we're redoing this, if we want to change completely how we do this,
I don't think we need to change it. Oh, finish what you're saying.
if we're gonna change completely how we want to do like the board,
Yeah.
part of me doesn't want to bother working on the verbiage of this
Okay.
because we're gonna
Yeah.
be changing.
Absolutely.
We're just gonna be.
No.
We're going to
Okay.
be dissecting this
I
completely
agree.
to begin with.
Yes.
Okay, that's fine. And the more I look at it, if we do have the space, there's not a whole lot.
Yeah,
to
I'm more
change.
interested. I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna find some that I've liked in the past that I've seen over the last
Yeah,
couple of years.
Scott, do you want
Do that.
to take that on and try
Yeah,
to find
there's
some
some great
pricing?
ones
Do you
down
want me to?
Okay.
And do you want me to go
Sources?
through the? I can go through the scrapbooks and see what we've got for pictures.
Yeah,
I
but-
feel like the Museum of Working Culture in Woonsocket might be helpful, although that's inside.
So
The Heritage Museum in Sandwich, I think, has some really nice ones. They just capture your attention, so you'll stop and read it.
Right.
And the Loom Fixer, which was the Schuster Woolen Mills, their
Newsletter.
like newspaper, they did an entire. So originally the game was supposed to be between the Cleveland Indians
Oh.
and the Boston Red Sox the week of the homecoming weekend, and the final night got rained out like
Oh.
torrentials. They were supposed to have fireworks, the whole nine got rained out. It was going to be a regular season game.
Oh.
So like this is why I'm saying there's so much history that I would love to actually be able
To add.
to add because there's a lot more to
story.
the story.
Yeah.
So it was supposed to happen. So when it got rained out, they ended up so this was supposed to happen the homecoming weekend. It ended up happening a month later, and it ended up being an exhibition game between the Yankees and the Red Sox. Fun fact, the Sox made the World Series that year.
Yeah,
Interesting.
And the World Series They did.
Yeah, when you said they
St.
made it,
Louis.
like you said they won.
St. Louis.
But I'm trying to think, when did, I think, so this game was played on September 26th. A week later was when the World Series started.
Wow, can you imagine that?
No, well, no, so that's what I'm saying,
You
like,
never see that today.
but that's what I'm
The
saying,
chance
like,
of someone getting hurt in an exhibition.
Yeah,
well,
right.
that's what I'm saying, there's so much more
Yeah.
to this story than
Yeah.
just this.
Yeah, if you have the space.
It-
But we have to also be like cautious, like if we want to build like mega sign, like it's gonna be.
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying, so like I said, if we can have
Like a collage.
like a collage where I can do
like a little box of.
where I can do
Yeah.
like lines underneath each picture that has just a fact.
Yeah.
I can fit a ton of facts
Yeah.
doing that, and I can even have the facts and find the pictures to go with the. Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean? There's
Yeah.
ways we can do this.
Right.
Right. And those gonna have to be something in the ground.
And depending
too.
on the cost, you know, you might be able to do something like this, so you could read some information on one side and somebody
On the
else
other.
could be reading on the other side, and it only uses one stand.
Yeah, I like that too. I was thinking,
know?
somehow I was thinking double-sided too.
Or there. I mean, you even like I said, I keep going to the zoo just because
That's what you see, yeah.
But you've got like the flips,
Yeah.
Yeah.
or you've got, there's different
Mm-hmm.
ways that we can make it interactive. Or
Yeah.
I know we're looking. The more I talk, the more it's like cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching.
Yeah.
But once again, this is a very important part of history. And Schuster Field started in the 1800s.
Yeah.
That field actually was in the 1890s is when that started becoming a ball field.
Yeah.
And some amazing players have played on that field well before 1946.
Yeah.
I mean, amazing ball players have played on that field. Like, more than these guys, and they're sitting in the Hall of Fame. Like, Douglas has a very storied baseball history that a lot of people don't realize. It's just, this is the thing that gets everybody's attention because it's
Yeah.
Yankees and Red Sox.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But there's a lot more to the story than just this.
All right, cool. Well then, yeah, if you can look, I can share with what
Yeah.
I had before, Scott, but I don't think they had more than brass. And if you could maybe do a little investigation if I come across anything else.
And like I said, I'm
But-
thinking that the Blackstone Valley Heritage
I
Corridor
agree.
is maybe one of our best
Yeah.
starting points. Because
Yeah.
if anything, they'll know where to.
I was a founding member.
Oh,
So like I said,
Who's on
even
the,
if they're not doing it, they might know
charter
where
member?
to, they would know
Nice.
where to point us.
Yeah.
yeah.
Know them well.
And like I said, that's the other way I get off track because I find something I'm really interested in. I get into stories.
I know, I wonder if there's, sometimes you can even see like the name of the company on the sign.
Yes.
But that might just be, one person did one thing, one person did something
Right.
else, but.
Yeah, no problem. That'd be fun.
But like I said, if you do a flat one, you can put plexiglass over it. Another thing to possibly consider is you've got the announcing booth.
Put it in there.
No, put it on there.
On it. That's
I don't know
what
it what that well down there.
I was thinking it
Comments.
should go on the booth.
But I mean, that's always an option.
Yeah.
But you've got to make it so if it does go on there, if repairs or rebuild ever happens, it's easy enough to come off and put back on that it won't ruin
Like
it.
solar panels on your roof?
Is there, can, like, anyone can get to that? Like, it's not going upstairs or anything?
No, it's
Yeah, it's just square.
it's a mix of like where they announce up on top and they've got the concession
Concession
booth.
stand.
Okay.
It's all there.
Attached to
But
that.
if you could put it on like the outside on one of like
Outside on one of the walls, yeah.
the one of the walls,
Yeah.
and then you're not looking at having to like
'Cause
one,
the stand's
find a
very
spot
long.
for it.
Yeah.
Two, you've got an automatic place to install it, so you're not trying to find a way to install it, which means you might be able to go a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
Just thoughts.
Okay.
All right.
All right, are we good?
Oh, yeah, we should officially adjourn.
What about next meeting?
Do you want to send an email to people looking for September? Because we've got to figure out Christy and Sarah
Right.
both.
Well, I think, yeah, okay, we can do that as part of, so I'd like to do the earlier half of September.
Let me.
The 2nd is Labor Day.
Yeah. I can do, I can do anything those first 2 weeks except for Labor Day.
So Tuesdays, until after the 16th Mondays are still out for me until after the 16th.
Okay.
And Thursdays are out for me.
No Monday and no Thursday.
No Monday, no Thursday.
Okay.
But evenings after 5 work
Okay.
for either of the Tuesday, Wednesday. And I
Okay.
think we all agree Fridays are they don't work anymore
No.
for trying to get people.
Yeah, unless we did a morning. But I don't think that's an option.
Well, Colin starts preschool September 1st or
Okay.
September 3rd.
Yeah.
September 3rd. So I've got a little bit more flexibility come September, but it's still not a ton.
Okay.
Yeah, the morning thing doesn't bother me.
Okay.
But I think Christy didn't have morning available.
I think she had one day off though, and I don't remember, or I don't know if that's set in stone or if that was just that point in time. But if we start with ours, and I'm pretty much, I can move things around usually.
So, the second week of September?
Well, we could do late, probably not Monday or Tuesday, but anytime from, say, the 4th to the 12th.
And I'm sorry, I've also got Thursday mornings
Thursday mornings, okay.
until I've got to be at the library for 12.
So what about the 4th? It's a Wednesday. Give them the options of, can we agree on
Mhm.
possibilities? I'm okay the 4th or 5th.
5th is out
Okay, 5th is out, so 4th.
unless we do early morning.
Or
Okay.
the 6th in the morning on Friday?
Yep,
Is it,
Wait,
it's a, 6th is a Friday.
yep.
yeah, I can do
So
that.
for us, it's been fine. Just
Four-
throwing
fourth-
these out there for give them an
Fourth
opportunity to do
after,
yeah.
some
fourth after 5 and the 6th in the AM.
in the AM. And same thing the next week, maybe?
And then, or Thursday, I don't know how you are, Scott, but for that Thursday's not pretty for me.
Then let's ignore Thursdays.
Okay.
Let's just wash Thursdays. So 4th,
In the evening, 6 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Monday, I can do anything.
Monday I'm out. The 9th
Okay.
I'm out. 10th I'm available.
10th is a Tuesday. Tuesday's okay.
Yep, Tuesday's fine.
In
Oh.
the evening?
Morning or
Yep, evening.
evening?
Okay,
10th and 11th I'm available evening.
okay.
And then 13th I'm available AM.
And that's
Friday
a
the
Friday.
13th.
Yeah, that would be a good one.
We could bring movies.
So 4th, 10th, 11th after 5, 6th and 13th AM.
Perfect.
Got it, okay. Okay, so I will throw out those options. Probably at this point, people can do those.
I mean, we're giving early. I feel like we're giving enough notice, and we're out of summer. One of the reasons I said September is to get out of summer.
Yeah,
Yeah, right. Yep, I agree.
I don't have little kids anymore, so.
Even, it's not
I
even so much the kids, it's my husband.
Well, you have a little kid then.
I've got an adorable, lovable little gremlin who got his first big boy haircut,
Oh, it's so cute.
and I'm not handling it well. All right, so it is motion to adjourn the meeting.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, so
7:46.
adjourned as of 7:46. Thank you all.